And welcome to our show, Sergeant Lloyd, Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office. With me today, I have Captain Roman Jackson to my left, over here at the end of the table. Welcome. It's been a while since you've been on the show.
Been a good little bit since I've been here with you, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Jillian Durkin, our Assistant Public Information Officer. Ma'am, how are you?
Doing good today. How are you?
Excellent. Glad to be here. We have a lot of information to cover today. Most of it is going to be spoken about by that gentleman on the end, Captain Jackson, as we're going to talk about a lot of different things, but most of it going to be patrol related. So let's just jump right on in. So December is National Impaired Driving Prevention Month. Of course, we have a lot of holidays during the December, January, actually Thanksgiving, we get out all three of those. That's this time frame, and this is really to bring awareness about the dangers of impaired driving. So it is very important. We don't have to tell you don't drink and drive. Everybody knows that. It's more of the responsibility to be a designated driver, to volunteer to be a designated driver, or to look out for others that are driving impaired. And in the U.S., approximately 29 people or one person every 50 minutes dies in a vehicle accident, reference to someone that's impaired. So it's a very serious situation. And of course, during the holiday season, we want everyone to be safe. So, Captain Jackson, this one's for you. What is a DUI?
I think some people have a misconception of what a DUI actually is, but in all essence, it's you're operating a motor vehicle too impaired, basically by alcohol or drugs, to drive and do the simple features of driving, like pressing your gas pedal at the correct time, your brake pedals, steering, blinker use, things like that. Sometimes people think it's if you have a drink and then you operate the car, that makes you DUI. That's not. It's all of you. Basically, you're too impaired to operate the vehicle.
You know, one of the things a lot of folks don't understand is why do we do field sobriety tasks and everything else.
Right.
And we just taught, you've done it with us, the Whiting Field stand down when we talk about driving under the influence is the field sobriety tasks are more for law enforcement to be able to determine. You know, it's a tough call when you're looking at .08 as being illegal. How does someone behave at .06, .04, a little bit higher? So that helps us determine if someone's intoxicated, and it's to the faculties. So you could be .04 and still be in really bad shape to drive.
Sure.
And that's what we're determining. So there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. But Kevin, how can you get a DUI?
Well, operating a vehicle, anything that's considered a vehicle in the state of Florida, and you enter onto a roadway, you're subject to be stopped. You have to follow all the traffic laws, so you could get stopped for something that doesn't even relate to alcohol, and then it's determined by the officer that you're too impaired to be driving, and then that's when we would do the field sobriety test to determine that.
Well, what happens if you refuse to do the field sobriety test?
The officer will have to make an evaluation of that person driving just based off of what they can see with the human eye, and then what they can see through their training. And the eyes do tell some things, but if they don't have anything else to go off of, they have to make a decision, and most likely that's going to be to get you off of the road.
Where can you get a DUI in the state of Florida?
It's crazy. You can get a DUI on a lot of things that you wouldn't think. A bicycle, a lawnmower, a horse, a vehicle. And when I say vehicle, those are considered vehicles by statute, but an automobile, I mean, anything you can operate, that's pretty much open game.
A golf cart?
Yep.
Yes. Yep.
Which we have a lot of golf carts in our community, so
We do.
Gotta be careful.
Yeah. You could also get a DUI in your own driveway.
You can. I'll tell you, the way that they make this law, it's to keep people safe as much as possible, and so I think a lot of people don't understand the actual law when it comes to DUI, and it's something we should research. What's crazy is we have so many resources now that you can use to not get a DUI. Even if you don't have a DD, you have a Lyft, you have Uber, you have all these things you can use. So
Yep. Make a phone call. Don't take a chance.
absolutely.
So, hey, another hot topic we have here at Santa Rosa seems to be people failing to stop for school buses. We keep receiving messages from a lot of folks in the county, parents and folks that are not stopping for a stopped school bus. This goes without saying. I mean, it's for child safety. It's for everyone's safety. If that arm is out and it's flashing red, stop. Now, most drivers, if not all, it goes from yellow, which is warning you the red's about to come out. It's just like a regular traffic sign. So if a bus is stopped, please make sure that you stop, and that's for everyone's safety. And we receive a lot of complaints. I don't know what. This isn't something new, but we're receiving a lot of complaints. Jillian, you've gotten a lot of complaints you've read through social media, right?
I have. One that keeps occurring is where the bus pulls over and it's in the turn lane, and the kids are getting onto the bus immediately from the sidewalk. And I don't know if it's the fact that the drivers just don't think that they need to stop because the children might not be in danger, in their opinion.
Right.
But what do you think, Cap?
It's wrong, though. You have to stop. I mean, at the end of the day, if you see a school bus and you think that you even should stop, regardless of the lights, if they're stopped and it appears that they're going to let a student off or a child off, stop, because it's not worth it. Sometimes there's a delay. We have to understand too. There's a human element to this, and when we turn lights on and when we don't turn them on. So it's becoming a big problem for us, and we're trying to address as much as possible. And to piggyback off what you said, Rich, I think maybe it's just that we have more students in our schools now, more buses traveling in Santa Rosa County, because it is a great place to live, and people are moving there to put their kids in school. So maybe this is just growing. It's a trend that's going up.
And there was one video we received online. It was bad, and it was a bus that stopped. The kids coming off, and car after car after car kept passing that, and you can clearly see all of the signs and the blinking lights. And so you're aware we take action on these things, and we send out folks. We send patrol folks out. We send traffic folks out, and we can very well be following a school bus from behind in an unmarked car. We're going to stop you.
And the consequences are you're going to get a ticket, and it's going to be a hefty ticket for you. So you need to take the time to slow down and think about what you're doing when you're operating the vehicle behind a bus or around a bus. There's not going to be a lot of discretion about it.
Well, I guess it goes back to saying make driving your priority. Not texting and all these other things that we're doing. Here's some good news. We've moved. So the district office in Gulf Breeze that used to be on College Parkway has relocated. It is now located next to the zoo on Highway 98 in Gulf Breeze. The exact address is 5613 Gulf Breeze Parkway. We've gotten questions as to why. The old office used to belong to Station 35 Midway Fire, and we rented room from them, and for quite some time they've been great hosts. But of course their organization's growing, and they're going to need more room. So with that being said, we have relocated. We got a great location right there on Highway 98, and that's when all the new services will be taking place. So I just want to make sure everybody was aware of that. If you're looking for the office, it's now 5613 Gulf Breeze Parkway next to the zoo. Did you ever work there?
In Gulf Breeze.
D1.
No, I worked in Navarre.
You did?
I was a sergeant in Navarre.
Gotcha.
Had to cover Gulf Breeze a couple times, but no, I was assigned to Navarre.
Jillian, take the next one. This is your favorite.
We're going on a break.
We are?
After we get back from
Let's
break.
take a break. We'll be right back.
Have you ever laid in bed and wonder what your future is going to be like? I do, and I often wonder what it's like to be a deputy. How would I look in a uniform? What's on that belt? What's the car look like inside? Who would I work with? What's it like to help others in need? What's it like to fight crime? One day, I'm gonna know.
It's a dream come true to become a deputy for Santa Rosa County. It was one of my goals I had in life, try and become a deputy before age 30, and I did it. I always wanted a brother. Now I have a ton of brothers. We're always having each other's backs. And that's that kind of close-knit family that you just can't get in any other kind of job. I'm patrolling Paradise. I work where people come to vacation, and that's amazing.
And welcome back. We're going to go through this next section with Jillian. Good.
So we have a program for patrol requests, and we've had it for a while, but I think a lot of people haven't really known about it. So basically what this program is you can go onto our website and you can fill out a form. It'll say home check patrol request. And so you fill out this form with your information and you send it back to us, and it's for whenever you're not at home. So whenever you're going on vacation, maybe you have to leave, the area for a little while, take care of some family, or if you're military and you're going on deployment and you just need us to make sure everything's on the up and up, that's what we're here for.
Yep, it's a great option that we have. You contact us, you let us know a little bit ahead of time, and deputies will go by and do patrols. And if they notice something, you can even, I believe, give us some notes of the things that we need to look out for or whatever. And if they see something that triggers them a little bit or they notice out of the ordinary, then we're able to contact you and let you know as well, so we can make a report of it.
Service provided by Sheriff Johnson. He's real big with that, especially with military deployment, things like that.
Right.
Take advantage of it. Visit our website, santarosasheriff.org. Under the programs tab, you should be able to see there. It'll be on there soon. The form will be, but they're currently available at any of the district offices. So that's pretty good. Neighborhood watches. That's another one, another Jillian's topic.
So on our website, you can go and you can check out some resources about neighborhood watches. So there's a couple apps on there, and they'll give you some information. The Neighborhood Watches app, or Nextdoor app, which is a virtual neighborhood watch application. And we already have over 30,000 residents that are signed up for this program. So it's a great way to utilize something that's already being widely used. And then the Ring, Neighbors Ring app is another app that you can use. But personally, I like Facebook. You know, you can create a Facebook group for your neighborhood, your subdivision, and it's a great way just for people to pop on and put on some information about what's going on. You have, you know, somebody that's going door to door, maybe selling something, and you're not really sure if this person's legitimate, who they say they are. It's a good way to get that information out.
Yeah, being in a patrol division, we have, of course, the different districts. I can't tell you how many times this Ring camera systems have helped us solve crimes because they pick up so well. And then the Facebook pages, they invite our detectives onto their local neighborhood Facebooks and then feed them the information. And we've been able to solve a lot of our burglary problems that way. So it's been good.
I want to mention the Neighbors app. Nextdoor is the virtual neighborhood watch program. The Neighbors app, I think it's amazing. It really is. We've solved a ton of crimes off of that with Neighbors. It's provided by Ring, but if you have any camera system, you can join it. And what happens is once you have that software installed on your phone, you get alerts of unusual activity that is provided by your neighbors within, I think it's a mile and a half or two. And then after that, you can submit videos to the sheriff's office. So Neighbors was gracious enough to allow us to be able to get that information from you guys directly. Helps us solve these crimes. We had a shooting that took place that we were able to resolve and get video from, which was very critical. Vehicle burglaries we had, that was our first case once we started with this. And matter of fact, we were getting the videos before the deputies even knew what was going on. And that same night, they ended up arresting them for loitering and prowling. And then later we went back and charged them all with vehicle burglaries from your video. So it is an amazing piece of software for your phone. Download it, join it, and help us fight crime. It's a great thing. Captain, we didn't mention this, you are actually in charge of the entire patrol division, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what you do.
So basically my job is to oversee all of your lieutenants or district commanders that are in the different districts like I just talked about. Milton, Jay, Pace, Navarre, Gulf Breeze. You each have a lieutenant that runs those separate districts, and then I'm over them to ensure that I provide them what they need to get the job done.
The sheriff has said one time, each district is run by a mini sheriff.
Yeah.
How does that, what's that thought process?
Right, because they're dealing with the day-to-day issues. Normally when you go into a district office and you make contact with the highest supervisor there at the time, it'll be your district commander or lieutenant. And then anything that they can't handle, they'll funnel up to me. And then my job is to disseminate information from the upper command down to them, and we move forward from there. And that's how we try to provide you guys with the best service we can.
And how many, from a staffing perspective, I know we can't get into specific numbers, but how many people are assigned to each district?
Approximately, it really depends, probably about 25 to 30 people. It can go a little more if we have trainees in the time in the districts, but yeah, it's average. I would just say a good ballpark would be 25 to 28 people.
So if someone has a problem in their neighborhood,
Yep.
what do you, like, let's say for example, because, you know, elephant in the room, traffic complaints.
Yep.
If I have a traffic complaint, what do you recommend the first thing is that I do?
The first thing you can do is you can visit your district office, or you can go online and see the email. I believe you got the emails attached for the district commanders. They can send them an email, or go by and just see them personally and tell them the issue, and then we'll try to get the patrol officers to work that in between their calls for service. So we're trying to supplement the traffic unit as much as possible, but you know, traffic is such a big thing because I said we have a lot of people moving into the area, but we're doing our best. But that's your first step. You actually have your way to go see the mini sheriff.
Yep.
And go and talk to them and express any concerns you have for your neighborhoods.
And they're the ones that have the ability to allocate those resources on a local level.
That's right.
So let's skip ahead to, we're seeing a substantial increase in traffic complaints, which you just mentioned. What are we doing about the traffic complaints, and what are some of the pitfalls we're experiencing in reference to traffic in our community? And we only have a brief second, then we're going to go to commercial. So if you don't mind just answering the question, why we're seeing a lot of traffic.
I think we're seeing a lot of the problems with traffic because we are having a big influx of people move into the area, and our roads are being traveled more than they ever have before. And I think that's probably our biggest issue right now.
Cool. All right, let's take this quick break. We're going to come back with our wanted fugitives right after this.
Okay, sir, this is a citation for speed. However, I did give you your break, but you need to do me a favor, slow on down, just because of the fact that, you know, it is dangerous out here speeding right here. So do me a favor, you know, slowing down. Whoa! Slowing down. Whoa! Wow. That's the reason why you got to have a move-over law in effect to save somebody's life.
Hi, I'm Santa Rosa County Sheriff Bob Johnson, asking you to please remember to move over so all of us can come home safely.
From that first day when I started hearing stories about what law enforcement actually, entailed, I was hooked. I'm very involved with, being on the SWAT team. It's my niche, if you will. I take pride in what I do. And my wife grew up in Santa Rosa County. I have, 2 children, one on the way. I try to be the best husband and father I can be. Hopefully at the end of the day, make me a better cop as well.
I am Michael Ramirez, and I am proud to be a Santa Rosa County Deputy Sheriff.
And welcome back. This is our favorite part of the show. A lot of people wait for it. It's our wanted fugitive section. These individuals are wanted as of December 9th, 2021. If you have any information on these individuals, we want you to contact Santa Rosa County Crime Stoppers at 437-STOP. You guys ready?
Ready.
Okay. First one's going to be David James Henn. And David is wanted for battery domestic violence. David is a white male. He is 43 years of age. He is approximately 5'11", 190 pounds with gray hair, green eyes, and he is considered violent. So do not approach. Give us a call.
Next, we have Cedric Earl Young. Cedric is wanted for fleeing and eluding police, grand theft of a motor vehicle, resisting an officer, obstruction without violence, and operating a motor vehicle without a valid license. Cedric is a black male and is 37 years old. He is approximately 5'9" and 190 pounds with black hair and brown eyes.
All right, next we got Samantha Elizabeth Buckner. Samantha is wanted for revoked bond, possession of a controlled substance without prescription, and drug equipment possession and or use. Samantha is a white female. She's 44 years old. She's approximately 5'1" and 150 pounds with black hair and hazel eyes.
And next up is Susan Parrott Burson. Susan is wanted for failure to appear, possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, 2 counts. And Susan is a white female. She is 46 years of age, 5'5", 160 pounds. She has brown hair and hazel eyes.
Next is Mr. Anthony Ray Cole. Anthony is wanted for possession of a controlled substance without prescription. Anthony is a white male and is 29 years old. He's approximately 5'8", 130 pounds with brown hair and blue eyes.
Next is Andrew Jackson Godwin. Andrew is wanted for revoked bond, possession of controlled substance without a prescription, and drug equipment possession and or use. Andrew's a white male. He's 37 years old. He's approximately 6 foot, 180 pounds with brown hair and blue eyes.
Next up, Dustin Michael Henderson. Dustin is wanted for a failure to appear, possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. Dustin is a white male, 40 years of age. He is 6 foot tall. He's got 155 pounds on him with brown hair and brown eyes.
Next, we have Erica Lynn McKean. Erica is wanted for revoked bond, possession of a controlled substance without prescription, drug equipment possession and or use, and a DUI, alcohol, or drugs. Erica is a white female and is 39 years old. She is approximately 5'7", 187 pounds with blonde hair and green eyes.
Next is Raven Suzanne Wilson Norris. What a name. Raven's wanted for failure to appear, dealing in stolen property and larceny, grand theft, and Raven's a white female. She's 29 years old. She's approximately 5'3", 135 pounds with brown hair and blue eyes.
And lastly is going to be Eli Pierce White. And Eli is wanted for a revoked bond, possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, drug equipment possession and use. Eli is a white male, 33 years of age, 5'9", 180 pounds. He is bald with, he's got a little bit of hair. He's got blue eyes. So if you have any information about these individuals, I want you to contact Santa Rosa County Crime Stoppers, 437-STOP. You can get up to $3,000 in cash.
We got somewhere for him.
Mm-hmm. What would you do with $3,000 cash right now?
I'd probably buy some more golf equipment.
She stole that.
Kat, what would you do with
What would you
I don't
buy?
know. She stole my idea. Because she asked me this before we...
You could buy more golf equipment. We can go
I'd
golf
probably go
again
on a
together.
golf trip.
Where?
somewhere. I think I would probably go to like one of these fancy places that I could never afford to golf any other time.
Greenbrier in West Virginia. It's really,
be good.
really neat.
Nobody ever asked me what I would do.
What
with
would you do?
$3,000.
What would you do?
I would go and buy a lot of fishing equipment.
Told you.
A lot of
I just
fishing
said it.
equipment.
That's why we don't ask
That's why we
you.
don't ask you. We already know.
A ton of it. So, where were we? We were talking about increased traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some issues. Most of the issues, like the captain said, is related to just the amount of sheer numbers we're seeing on the roadways. A lot of people trying to bypass the main highways, 90, 98, 87, Avalon, and they're taking a lot of side roads. We just did a traffic study on one complaint that just came in prior to me coming here today, where we had a ton of complaints on this road.
Yep.
And they said it is crazy, people are almost getting ran over and all these other things. Well, we went out, we did a study, we used this piece of equipment called the Stealth Stat. It kind of hides, you can't see it, it's not visible to anybody, and the numbers showed that there was no speeding. With that being said, the reason is because these roads are very thin, they appear to be speeding, and also if there's a lot of curves in the roadway, it gives the optical illusion that there's speeding taking place. But then again, on the other side, we've gone out to areas like Ortega down in Navarre, and people were flying like crazy there. You thought it was a runway, and we went out, wrote a lot of tickets, and handled the situation very quickly. So, Captain, before we were talking about the speeding, what we're doing, but what are some of the pitfalls that we've experienced when it comes to resolving these traffic issues?
Well, we're trying to address them as much as possible, but just for instance, in a 1 week period, we could take in just on phone calls. When I was over special operations, we could take in 47 to 55 calls a week. That's not to include the online submissions that get made or just the word of mouth to the deputies that are working the streets. So we're trying our best to formulate a speed unit that can cover the whole entire county. That's in the process of being done. And then we're trying to use patrol officers in between calls for service. But the backside is if you get more traffic, you got more people. Well, with more people, you get more calls. So the deputies are tasked a little more with having to answer calls now. And it's just a balance, and we're trying to work it out the best we can. And please continue to let us know, and we'll do everything we possibly can to fix it. But it's not that we don't care, and it's not that we're not trying.
I'll go out there any day and write tickets. I love doing traffic control, simply because I've had friends that have died in traffic accidents. Right. So, time is an issue, staffing is an issue. When we hire someone, and Captain, we were talking about this before coming to the show, you hire someone, it takes 4 to 8 weeks to train them, and then in some instances even longer. And then you need a car for them, you need equipment for them. The cars need to be made, right? That was one of the issues.
Right. I mean, it just takes time to get everything moving. If we do something today, it could possibly be 3 months before we can roll it out. And I know that doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but there's so many steps that take place to putting a deputy on the streets that, frankly, we don't talk about a lot because it's our job to put them out there, and we're doing it the best we can. But every time you see a deputy rolling around in a car out there, there's a lot of time and prep that goes into putting them out there to serve you.
And now with these cars being on backlog with the chips that are stuck on containers, we're also having a very difficult situation getting some cars as well.
But we'll continue to do the best we can.
Yes, absolutely. And you have some good news, Captain. We're saving here for the end about Jay. How about it?
Yeah, so we re-implemented what we call District 5, which is the J area. For those of you that live up in that area, you probably recognize that you got a lot more law enforcement presence up there lately. So we went back to, we were able to finally fully staff J again, which means that we have the amount of officers that we need on each shift for all the shifts, day, evening, and midnights. We have supervisors working up there now, and we have a new district lieutenant, Lieutenant Hall. He'll be taking over this weekend. So you'll be able to drop by and talk to him and tell him your concerns. But it was a big thing for us as an agency to get everybody staffed back up there. We were always covering it, but now we have people that are just truly assigned to that area and can invest in that community.
And that's the key, is invest.
Yep.
Because those deputies that are now permanently assigned there, they get to know the people, they get to know what's going on, and they build those relationships, which is huge in law enforcement.
Absolutely.
And they're located there in City Hall, correct?
They are.
Okay,
Yep.
great.
Right there in downtown Jay. So go by and see Lieutenant Hall. He'd love to talk with you. And if you have any concerns or anything you want him to help work on, he's going to be your guy moving forward. So that's going to be even better for you too. So now you feel like you have somebody you can go talk to, like we were mentioning before.
Hey, real quick, I know we talked about district lieutenants, but what would have to happen for someone to have to call Captain Jackson?
Then the lieutenant couldn't take care of it.
All right. Well, I think we've just about covered everything we had on the plan today, and we're right on time. Again, remember those wanted fugitives. If you have any information, 437-STOP. Our great partners in Crime Stoppers do a great job in getting the information to law enforcement to bring these individuals to justice. And you can get a lot of money. It's the holiday season. We could all certainly use it, and I need some more fishing equipment, but I'm not eligible. I can't call these guys in. All right. So anyhow, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Captain. Thank you, Jillian. And we'll see you on our next show. You guys take care.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.